My name is Justin Ramirez. Since we're at Cafe Cultura, I'm going to introduce myself how I normally introduce myself other places, which is through poetry. So here's a little bit about me. I inspire my neighborhood, mi barrio, in northeast Denver, known as Swampton to some, Swansea to others, to know that we are more than the smell of a dog food factory, contaminated lands, and far too many broken dreams. I inspire young people to own their greatness, to chase their dreams, to recognize their obstacles as gifts, and know that there are endless possibilities for a brighter future. I inspire bullies to find love and forgiveness, not just from those they've heard through their words and actions, but from themselves. I inspire the preservation of familia by eating menudo, carne asada, and chile verde at Sunday afternoon pachangas. I inspire students who have been told that they weren't smart enough or rich enough or from the right ethnic background, that with grit and determination, they too can go to a university like Colorado State and graduate. I inspire parents to listen to their kids' dreams, to love them unconditionally, even if they don't agree with them, and for them not to be afraid to let them leave home in search of them. I inspire because I was told at the age of 14 by a teacher that she didn't care if I lived or died, and it was the thought of death which motivated me to walk across 3 graduation stages. I inspire to honor los sacrificios de mi abuelitos, my grandparents, who came to the United States from Jerez, Zacatecas, Mexico, in search of a better life for their 14 children and future 46 grandchildren, and that's just my dad's side. I inspire the unconditional love of my parents, who gave me not only the gift of life, but the gift of an education so that my life can have a legacy. I inspire communities where young people know that they are loved and talented and that they have gifts and stories that need to be shared with the world. I inspire young people that college no longer starts after high school. It actually started the very first time we ever went to school. Never stop loving learning, never stop loving school, no matter who tries to stop you, including ourselves. We must look at our futures the way we did when we were in kindergarten, and if we did, then we'll be willing to put in the work to make our dreams come true. I inspire to inspire you, and each time we inspire someone new, we ask them to carry that love and inspire someone new. So that's a little bit about who I am. And as Ada said, we do a lot of work. We work with 5 different high schools throughout the Denver metro area. From as far southwest as Sheridan High School to Aurora to Commerce City, Adams City High School, at Lester Arnold High School, and then, of course, I can't do this work without working in my old neighborhood, Swansea, Bruce Randolph High School. So I think people are only as powerful if they're starting with the very communities that they come from. And that community in Swansea is a community that right now is going to be completely changed forever with the redevelopment of I-70, which has been falling down since I was a kid. Talk about scary shit, right? You walk under that highway and you can't not be afraid that it one day might collapse on you. Well, we were that afraid when we were little kids playing in that playground there at Swansea Elementary. One of the ways that we try to empower our youth is through the power of their stories. So many of our young people, when we meet them, they've seen the things that they've gone through in life as being the things that have held them back, because that's what society has told them. And once we start to teach them and train them to see that it's actually the power of their stories, the obstacles, seeing those as gifts, is actually the resiliency that they need in order to make the change that they deserve in their families and in their communities. And one of the ways that we do that is through college, through education. Education is still one of the equalizers in this country. Although we talk a lot about not having papers, there's no limit that says you can't work for 4 years and get that piece of paper that will open countless doors for you that they've tried to shut them on our people for far too many generations. A lot of us, when we think about our futures, we look at our careers and we think about what our parents do. A lot of us are the first in our families to ever even have the opportunity to get an education. My dad didn't have the opportunity to graduate high school because when you're one of 14, you have to work to help support your family. And one of the things that's why I said one of the blessings that he gave me was that gift of a college education. And I honored him by going and getting that master's degree. One of the things that we try to tell our students is that they have actually all the power right in the palm of their hands. We ask them to think about why they love themselves, which is often one of the hardest things to do. Because see, in school, every year we take an English class from the time we're in kindergarten all the way till we're in college. But we never take a class on how to love ourselves and how to love where we come from and who we are. We ask them to honor the people who have made sacrifices in their lives for them to be who they are today. We ask them to acknowledge where they come from, their roots, their raíces. You look at all this beautiful art. Our kids don't see this in their schools. We ask them to dream big. We ask them to dream without fear, without limits. And most importantly, we ask them to make a change in their communities. And when you bring those things together, it becomes a fist. And you see all throughout history, we've seen even tonight, when the first poet said, I raise my fist. Each time one of us raise our fists up to the heavens, we're showing the world our hearts. And that's what we ask our kids to do, is to show the world their hearts. We ask them to show, not only to show their world their hearts, but to share their hearts with the world. Right now, I know it's Friday the 13th and all, right? And every day, it's easy to wake up and feel like we're living in a nightmare. Every day you hear a new story of so much hate in this world, and sometimes, even for us, it's easy not to be consumed by that hate and want to fight hate with hate. But one of the messages that we try to share to our students is that love's soulmate is forgiveness. And two, the greatest love affair we ever have to have in life is the one that we have with ourselves and with our people and with our families. And as long as we do that, there is no system, there is no wall, there is no person who can defeat us, because we will beat them with love. Love is the greatest weapon this world has ever known, yet it's one of the ones that's underutilized the most. I challenge our students not only to get an education, but to be an ambassador of love. That's what I've dedicated my life to doing, is being an ambassador of love. And oftentimes when you do that, you encounter a lot of struggle and a lot of resistance, and that's when you have to even love harder. You have to love harder and forgive harder. So we love supporting Café Cultura. I remember when they were starting it, man, it's so dope to see how it's grown. Me and Ada talk about this at different things, because when you're a person of color and you run your own nonprofit, you tend to see each other at the same places over and over again. And you know who we don't see there? The people that are oppressing us, right? We usually don't see them there. And we have to work twice as hard to show that our ideas work. We have to work twice as hard to get the resources that our programs need to be sustainable, and we oftentimes have to do it with less people. So this is so beautiful tonight to come out here, and I'm glad it is your guys' 13th anniversary, and hopefully you're around for another 13 and another 13 after that, because the true mark of leaving a great legacy in this world is when you're able to create something that is able to outlive you. And so I want to give a shout out to Ada, because what they've created, I'm confident. Although I'm not wishing you a short life, I'm wishing you many years of life, man. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. INSPiRE.